Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be open. Yes. That should have been my talk title today. Well, my talk title is, I had to look again, You Are the Power. But you know, I think I rewrote, I misquoted myself when I turned it in. You have the power. Because if we think we are the power, sometimes it gets like egoic, like we think we're great, we can do, you know, which we do have the power when we're connected. When we're connected to a higher power. So last week I talked about our foundation and the metaphor of our house as our life. And that there's not more spiritual sense in one room than another. And a life built on the foundation of the conscious awareness of God's presence in every room, every part of your life, makes the entire house strong, stable, and able to withstand any upsets that might confront you. And when we live from our values, we talked about that, we're guided into right choices and right decisions, and we operate our life from a sense of integrity. I mean, who doesn't want a more joy-filled life? Who doesn't want a more prosperous life? A more loving life, a more powerful life? And, you know, the obstacle to a more powerful life is usually hidden in our limited beliefs and thoughts of our subconscious minds. And this is nothing new, I know, you all know that. But think about this. It's the little ways maybe we've settled for less. Or maybe it's that we just haven't felt good enough. Or all the small ways we have doubted our capacity for more good. Because even the smallest doubt, the smallest worry, the smallest fear that is reinforced enough times can become a major barrier on the path to a more powerful and loving life. It's like those neural pathways, which I'll talk about a little later. But there's good news. The good news is the same thing that got you to the point of limitation is the same thing that can get you where you want to be. We each have a spiritual roto-rooter to clear out the clutter, the mind clutter. I love that idea. Just get in there and clean it out. The founder of the Science of Mind, Dr. Ernest Holmes, is famous for this saying. There's a power for good in the universe, greater than you are, and you can use it. Take that in. I know we hear that a lot, but wow, it's so powerful. Because when we embrace divine mind, we're tapping into the love we all have within, the power we have within. And if we want to live from a power-filled place, we have to be mindful. We have to be mindful of our words. You know, we can casually say to each other, oh, I hate this weather. Oh, I hate cucumbers. Oh, I hate bad drivers. Well, we cannot continue to say and talk like that and be in true alignment. I know you all know this, but you know, wow, think about it. If we remove all destructive thoughts, can we actually emulate the mind of the powerful divine creator? Is it really that simple? Well, yes and no. I don't know if you've noticed, but the problem is we live in a world filled with negative, destructive thinking. And even thinking that another person has destructive thinking and actions is in fact destructive. Ah! It's crazy. You just got to really be careful. And love is never destructive, ever. Hear that. And we've talked about this all month. The power of love. And love is based on the creative force that is the truth of all of us. So affirm with me, the power of love is with me now.
The power of love is with me now.
Say that again. The power of love is with me now. Take that in. That's a beautiful direction that we can take. Resentment, envy, repressed anger, hate, jealousy, violence, spite, vindictiveness, bitterness, rage are just a few of the destructive emotions and reactions we can have. I'm sure there's more. But remember a while back I shared, scientist David Hawkins' map of consciousness. And those particular emotions are way down on the scale. They're way down. And they create a miserable, hopeless life. And bless people that are stuck there. You know, bless them. That's why I'm so grateful. And I know I say this, but I'm so grateful for the practices and the teachings that we have here in the Science of Mind, or wherever you get your spiritual teaching. Because we practice the ABCs, which are awareness builds consciousness. Pretty good. Because when I know better, I can do better. And you all know better. Don't you? That's why you're here. Say that. When I know better, I can do better.
When I know better, I can do better.
And when we forget, and when we kind of fall off, forgive yourself and just get back up. Don't beat yourself up. But I really invite you to pay attention to what's coming out of your mouth or what's in your mind. So my personal practice is to be aware of my thoughts as best I can. And when I notice they're not so great, I simply just ask for guidance and I work to change them. And I say, oh, isn't that interesting? I'm going down there. Okay, well, now I'm going to go over here. So I take my divine power back because you have the power to do that. You're not helpless. You're not a victim. You can play the victim. Go ahead. How's that feel? How's that working? So the path to a powerful life is in understanding the power you have in your consciousness to create a powerful life. So we always are a choice, moment by moment, to reinforce those limiting thoughts or to uproot them and replace them with a more productive, loving thought. That's why I think the spiritual mind treatment, which is our form of affirmative prayer, is so transformative. It's a direct line to universal mind. It's direct. It's a quantum process. And it's so much more powerful than just positive thinking. It's productive thinking. It's creating a new neural pathway. So a new neural pathway, what is that? Well, when we always go down this one path of fear or doubt or worry or whatever it is, and we just automatically go there, you've created a little pathway in your brain. Well, as soon as you start to think of a new thought, a new idea about that, a new word, and you keep affirming that and you're disciplined and you're committed to changing, you're going to create a new neural pathway in your brain. And then when that new neural pathway comes, that old thing just kind of goes somewhere. And it's just not there. And then you'll notice, and I'm sure some of you have experienced this, like, oh, I'm not triggered by that anymore. The trigger leaves. Now, the memory might be there, but you're not triggered. You can remember that event, but it doesn't cause you to worry or have fear or get pissed off or hate. Do you get it? That's why it's so powerful, spiritual mind treatment. It helps us, I think, achieve a consciousness of spiritual realization. It just brings us to that place of power. And we all have experiences of limitation in one form or another. Or maybe you don't. And it's important to recognize that our experiences may be a fact, but they're not the truth of who we are. So there is a divine reality behind every experience that is pure spirit, unlimited potentiality, and joy-filled goodness. I know sometimes that's hard to see or feel. But what I know is that there is, beyond our human experience, behind it, there is a divine pattern of perfection that so loves us, that so supports us. And we often have to call it forward. Knock, like they sang, knock and it shall be opened. So doing spiritual mind treatment or any practice of spiritual work works if you work it. It works if you work it. So I mentioned this, I think, a couple weeks ago, is to, at the end of the day, just kind of notice what percentage of the day did I complain? What percentage of the day was I down here in vibration? And what percentage of the day was I up here on that scale? So you can Google David Hawkins' map of consciousness if you want to have your mind blown. And that is why taking classes and really being committed to your evolution in spirit, in consciousness, will help. So I mentioned last week that I taught in April the Foundations of Science of Mind, and the last part of the course was about values. And we heard from Gavin and Pam last week of what they wrote for their values and their mission. Because our values in life are our compass point. They really help to guide us. So I'm going to have the other two people from the class come up and share. So Jackie, come on up. Can I have the mic, please? And they're going to share their value statement and mission statement.
Hi, I'm Jackie. The values that stood out for me when I took this class were love, honesty, kindness, acceptance, and compassion. They really stood out. And we looked at our purpose in this class as well. And my purpose, I found, at this time is to model God's presence as it's revealed to me and to be open to it. We talked about a mission statement, and mine is to reach out into the world and its opportunities to share God's presence. It was a fantastic class too, a mind opener, I will say. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mary Jane, would you like to share yours, please?
I come from a different planet, I think.
No, you don't.
And by the way, right now the class that we're doing helps me anyway, and I think most of us in the class, to dig deeper into how we experience our daily life and really hearing in a different way. So anyway, here I go. I don't know if it would be the same today. My personal I chose joy, compassion, trustworthiness, playfulness, and love. I would not put love at the beginning because it leads to all the rest. But I just know that much better now. My personal purpose and mission is to find and create joy. My mission is to find joy in each moment of each day within myself and others. The gifts, which we were supposed to put in here, I possess and intend to share in this mission are my enjoyment and ease in mingling with strangers, my ability to sing, dance, and storytell, my empathy for people worldwide who desire food, shelter, water, and peace for their families, my time available for volunteer work, homemade food, and to share. I lose track of time when I'm cooking or reading or watching a documentary on TV. That is a form of meditation for me. My love of the outdoors and lifetime of the gift of exploration in the U.S., Canada, and Mexico with road trips and boat trips allows me to share special places I have found if folks are looking for the kiss of nature they desire. These travels also bring wonderful encounters with people along the way. I would like everyone to be able to experience the joy of swimming in a secluded pool along a river and listen to how nature fills the silence with her gifts. I believe dogs are one of God's greatest blessings and are welcomed with great affection, ready to be playful like you were as a youth. Me, I encourage it. With the right thinking, the joy has already arrived.
Yeah.
Worthy as you, Joy.
Thank you both. It's nice to witness their truth and hold that for them, that powerful idea of a value. And I encourage all of you to think about what your values are and what supports you in this thing called life. So I'm going to share a story today from Mark Nepo. It's called The Stones at Chimayo. On the way to Chimayo, a woman saw two Spanish farmers repositioning stones in a riverbed to redirect the flow, and she felt compelled to help. She had the feeling that this had been done for centuries. Their mothers and fathers, their grandmothers and grandfathers, each in their own time and way, picking up the same stones pushed about by the storms or drought, and putting them back so the water can continue. It seems this is the never-ending work of relationship. Each of us, in our own time and way, moving the stones between us, repositioning the heavy things that get in the way, so the life of feeling can continue. The weather of simply living jams things up, and we, like every generation before us, must roll up our pants, sleeves, and step into the river and unclog the flow. Of course, we need to ask, what are the stones pushed about between us? What are the heavy things that keep getting in the way? No doubt they are infinite and particular, but often they are made of habits. Habits of not, N-O-T, not seeing, not hearing, not being present, not feeling, not risking the truth, not risking the heart's need to live out in the open. That we close off, jam up, spill over, and dry up are all part of being human in the gravity of time. That we feel compelled to stop and even help strangers move the heavy thing out of the way is an impulse known as love. So I invite you to just close your eyes for a moment and take a breath. And identify something maybe heavy within you right now that seems to be in your way. Just notice. And does it have to do with a habit of not? Maybe you're not allowing something to flow freely within you. Just breathe and begin to notice what that is. What are you not allowing? And be honest in assessing how heavy this stone is in you right now. And if you need help in moving it, whom will you ask to help you and when? Can you knock on the door? And we breathe. And imagine you step into the river and unclog the debris, the heaviness. You move that stone. You just move it, maybe with help. And as that stone is moved, you reclaim your power. And you're in the flow again. The flow of love. The flow of peace, beauty, joy. Yes. Unclogging the flow and moving the stones that are heavy. And so take a deep breath and come back. Gratitude. So I invite you in your prayer time or when you wake up in the morning to set as your intention to be available to knowing the fullness of the divine's presence today. To be available to reclaim your power. When we're tapped into that love, one power, one source, one force, one energy, one vibration of love, the divine love. So let's affirm together, I am available to know the fullness of God's presence today and reclaim my power. I am available to know the fullness of God's presence today and reclaim my power. Repeat after me. I am available to know the fullness of God's presence today and reclaim my power. Give your neighbor a high five. Yeah. Are you in?
Yes.
Are you in?
I'm really in.
Are you really, really in? And so it is.